Welcome back, friends, to TV5 News at 9, and it's time now for Aging in Style with American Retirement Advisors. Joining us this morning is President and owner Joe Vitale. Thank you for being here. How are you, Joe?
Doing good, Colette. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So, Joe, you are always giving us such important information on retirement, but if you at home want to hear more from Joe, of course you do, be sure to grab your phones and scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe to his newsletter. It's called Financial Vitals. You can stay tuned in to the very latest financial news and market updates. Now to today's topic. It's early retirement. Is it right for you? So, Joe, we'd like to know, everyone, retiring early, but are there some things that we should think about if we are going to retire early?
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely want to look at how we're going to do it. And the biggest thing is, once you're transitioning from that income, how are you going to do it? What's going to make up that shortfall? And that's the one thing we're going to talk about. Does it make sense to have the house paid off? How are you going to do with Medicare and with the cost of health insurance? Because that's the biggest thing that everybody's wondering is, until Medicare kicks in at age 65, how am I going to bridge that gap and how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
And it depends. Now, some people can do the COBRA plan. Some people can, which is going to be costly, about $1,000 to $1,500 a month, which is scary. But what if you don't have that? Thankfully, some companies do have health insurance that they'll give their employees when they leave. But the biggest thing is to bridge the gap between between when they retire at 65. It depends on the income a lot of times. If we keep their income under a certain level, or if they can live at a certain level, then they can even go to the marketplace and pay $400 or $500 or very little per month for health insurance. So the big concern, a lot of people come say, Joe, my goodness, I can't afford to because of health insurance.
Right.
It may not be that bad, so definitely give us a call. We can help work through that and make sure we can come up with a plan for you.
So, Joe, will tapping into retirement funds be costly?
It can be costly if you do it the wrong way. We've had people come and say, oh, Joe, I just retired and I closed out all this. And I'm like, why did you do that? Why didn't you come to me first? So and the reason is you could do it the wrong way. If you're pre-59 and a half and you close out an IRA, you're going to pay penalties and taxes. But at 55 or older, and if you're in a 401k or qualified retirement plan, you can take money out, but pay taxes, of course, on it, but without a penalty. So it can be costly because some mistakes are really hard to undo, but having a good plan, which is why I say, listen, if you want to retire, if you're thinking of it, let's get this plan together. And we've been able to help a lot of people transition into retirement the smart way by making sure we're very smart with taxes, making sure we look at how we're going to take the income sources and where we're going to take it from so we don't have a big tax consequence, or we can mitigate the taxes or spread them out.
Now, Joe, you've talked about compounding interest. How would that work with early retirement?
Well, compounding interest, one of the things a lot of people don't realize is, Joe, how does money grow, right?
Yeah.
Well, remember the rule of 72. Whatever your interest rate is, divide that into 72. That's how many years it takes for your money to double. That's the magic of compound interest. So if you're getting a 4% rate of return, your money doesn't double until every 18 years. If you get 6%, your money's doubling every 12 years. So as time goes on, that money's doubling. If you had money in the market over the last few years, except for this year, which is down, we've seen 12%, which means your money's doubling every 6 years, compounding. And as you take that money out, you're going to pay tax on the growth. If it's IRA money, of course, it's all taxable. But if it's not IRA money, then depending if it's in the market, you could pay taxes as capital gains, or it could be ordinary income. So it's important to know when you transition how you're going to pay tax and to make sure that we're very tax efficient.
So, Joe, we all know that housing and mortgage payments, well, they don't retire early at all. So should someone wait to retire until that's paid off?
It is, as a Dave Ramsey Smart Investor, we love having no debt, and we love making sure the house is paid off. And going into retirement, transitioning in with no house payment and no car payment and no debt is such a wonderful, wonderful peace of mind for everybody. So if you can, absolutely. A lot of times we plan for that. We plan to make sure that is paid off. Recently, some of our clients, we made sure all the debt's canceled before they go into retirement. And it all depends on the house payment. It could be $300, $400, $500, which is, my goodness, very doable. Yes, it is great to have that peace of mind going into retirement with no house payment. So we are big advocates of that. but don't let that stop you. I mean, you can. It all depends on the spending habits. It all depends on what you have and what kind of income is coming in, because that reoccurring income is really, really important.
So, Joe, here's a big one for you. When it comes to inflation and spending money, can early retirees actually spend at the same level that they've been used to and still have enough for their retirement years?
That's a good one. And normally, we always bake that in when we do our forecasting for the next 30 years of what it's going to look like. We already have inflation built in there, but not at 8 and 10%, which is crazy right now. Now, you know, they say, oh, transitory. It's going to come down, and it's going to start to come down. But at the same token, not at 8, not as fast as we had hoped it was going to come down. So we have to look at that. We have to look at inflation. Can we spend at the same level? I don't. It all depends on how much savings that you have. Normally, we see a lot of people when they go into retirement, they're not going to just sit at home and watch TV all the time. They want to be active. They want to go do things. So we look at a realistic income goal, whether it's $50,000 or $80,000 a year or $30,000 a year. It all depends what their lifestyle is. And we look at that and say, this is what makes sense. Can we spend at $30,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000? So depending on their lifestyle, depending on their savings, depending on their needs, we can forecast that out, show realistic numbers, and then actually give people really good peace of mind to know that, yes, I can do this, I can't do this. Or a lot of people say, Joe, I just want to have fun for the next 10 or 20 years, and I don't care about after that. I just want to make sure I can go travel when I want to. Absolutely, we want to help with that. So it all depends. So give us a call. We'll gladly show you that and see what we can do to help with that.
I love it. Friends, we heard some great news from Joe today. Inflation is going to come down. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you.
Welcome.
Of course. So for the latest financial news and market updates, be sure to subscribe to Joe's newsletter. It's Financial Vitals. And if you want more information on today's topic, just head on over to the Aging and Style page at WNEM.com.